For many decades, students from China have looked to American universities. They sought world-class education and opportunities. These institutions became a bridge between two nations. This flow of students was a constant feature of U.S. higher education. It fostered intellectual exchange and cultural understanding. Many viewed this as a positive development, a sign of global interconnectedness. The presence of these ambitious young minds enriched campuses across the country, bringing diverse perspectives into classrooms and laboratories. This tradition of academic pursuit was strong and well established, forming a significant part of the international student body in America. Chinese students became the largest group of international students in the United States. Their numbers grew steadily over the years. They enrolled in a wide range of programs. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, the STEM fields, were particularly popular. These students were often top performers. They contributed significantly to academic research and innovation. University towns across America saw these students become part of their communities. Their intellectual curiosity and drive were widely recognized by professors and peers alike, making them a vital component of the academic landscape. This substantial presence was not just a statistic, it was a felt reality on countless campuses. The economic contributions of Chinese students were also very substantial. They paid tuition fees, often at higher international rates. This provided a vital revenue stream for many American universities. Beyond tuition, they spent money on housing, food, and other local goods and services. This spending supported local economies and created jobs. For many institutions, this financial input was crucial for maintaining programs and facilities. The U.S. Department of Commerce often highlighted the significant economic impact of international students, with Chinese students forming the largest portion of this beneficial economic activity. This financial aspect was an undeniable benefit to the host country. Beyond just numbers and finances, these students were integral to research endeavors. Many pursued graduate studies, working alongside American professors and researchers. They contributed to cutting-edge discoveries and advancements in various fields. Their dedication and hard work helped maintain the competitive edge of U.S. research institutions. This collaboration was seen as a win-win, benefiting both the students' careers and American innovation. The labs and research centers of many top universities were filled with talented individuals from China, pushing the boundaries of knowledge. This intellectual firepower was a key asset for American academic leadership on the global stage. In May 2020, President Trump issued Proclamation 10043. This was a significant policy change. It suspended the entry of certain graduate students and researchers from China. The proclamation targeted individuals believed to have ties to institutions involved in China's military-civil fusion strategy. It did not name specific universities, but gave broad authority to consular officers. The stated goal was to prevent the theft of U.S. technology and intellectual property. This proclamation sent a clear message about the administration's serious concerns regarding these specific academic connections. It was a direct intervention into the flow of students from China. The implementation of Proclamation 10043 had an immediate effect. Many Chinese graduate students found their visa applications denied or their existing visas revoked. Those studying in critical technology sectors faced increased scrutiny. The proclamation created uncertainty and anxiety among Chinese students planning to study in the U.S. universities also felt the impact, as they tried to understand the scope and application of the new rules. The policy was designed to be targeted, but its reach was felt widely within the academic community. It marked a clear tightening of the rules, making it harder for some of China's brightest to study in America.
Concerns grew specifically around China's strategic ambitions. The U.S. government pointed to China's military-civil fusion strategy. This strategy aims to leverage civilian research and technology for military advancement. Officials worried that Chinese students, particularly in STEM fields, might be acquiring knowledge and skills to benefit China's military. This led to calls for tighter controls on who could study in the U.S. and in what fields. The fear was that American universities were inadvertently training individuals who could pose a threat to U.S. national security interests. These concerns were articulated publicly and became a driving force behind new, more restrictive visa policies.
The Trump administration began to view this academic exchange through a different lens. National security concerns started to overshadow the long-standing benefits. Officials voiced worries about the potential for espionage. They feared that some students could be exploited or directed by the Chinese government. the focus shifted towards protecting American intellectual property and sensitive research. This change in perspective marked a significant departure from previous policies. The administration signaled that the status quo was no longer acceptable. It was a period of heightened scrutiny and suspicion, directly impacting the educational ties that had been built over many years.
Conversely, many in academia and civil rights groups criticized the policies. They argued that the measures were overly broad and could lead to discrimination. They feared a chilling effect on legitimate academic exchange and scientific progress. Some drew parallels to past discriminatory policies in U.S. history. The concern was that students were being targeted based on their country of origin, rather than individual actions. This, critics argued, undermined American values of openness and fairness. The debate highlighted a fundamental tension: how to protect national security without sacrificing academic freedom and international collaboration, which are cornerstones of American higher education.
Some national security experts supported the administration's cautious approach. They agreed that China's efforts to acquire advanced technology posed a genuine threat. These experts often highlighted the integrated nature of China's state and academic institutions. They argued that the military-civil fusion strategy was a clear indication of Beijing's intentions. Therefore, measures like Proclamation 10043 were considered prudent steps to mitigate potential risks. The argument was that a failure to act could have severe long-term consequences for American technological superiority and national defense capabilities. This viewpoint stressed the importance of vigilance in an era of strategic competition.
However, many university officials and academic leaders expressed deep concern. They worried about the impact on research collaboration and the loss of talented students. Universities argued that international students, including those from China, were vital to their research programs. They feared that these policies would deter bright minds from coming to the U.S. This could diminish America's standing as a global leader in science and technology. The financial implications were also a major worry for institutions already facing budget pressures. They highlighted the long-term benefits of academic exchange, which they felt were being jeopardized by these new restrictions.
Proclamation 10043 was seen as a targeted measure. It aimed to address specific threats without imposing a blanket ban. These proponents felt that the previous, more open policies had left the U.S. vulnerable. The administration emphasized that these actions were about safeguarding American innovation and military advantages.
Supporters of the new visa policies argued they were necessary. They believed the U.S. needed to protect its national security and economic interests. They pointed to alleged cases of espionage and intellectual property theft linked to China. For them, the risks posed by certain Chinese students and researchers were too great to ignore.
Striking this balance is crucial for maintaining U.S. leadership in higher education and research. It also impacts America's image on the global stage. The discussion continues today as policymakers, educators, and security experts grapple with these competing priorities. The goal remains to protect national interests while upholding the values that have made American universities a magnet for talent from around the world.
Ultimately, the crackdown on Chinese student visas highlighted a complex challenge. How does the United States balance legitimate national security concerns with its commitment to academic freedom and international openness? There is an ongoing debate about finding the right approach.
Criticism of the policies extended to civil rights concerns. Some advocacy groups and individuals argued that the measures unfairly targeted Chinese nationals. They raised alarms about potential racial profiling and discrimination. Comparisons were made to historical periods of anti-Chinese sentiment in the U.S., such as the era of the Chinese Exclusion Act. These critics contended that the policies created a climate of fear and suspicion. They argued that it harmed not only the affected students, but also the broader Asian American community. The debate touched upon fundamental questions of fairness and equal treatment under the law.
This decline had considerable financial consequences for U.S. universities. As mentioned, Chinese students often paid full tuition. The loss of this revenue strained university budgets. Some institutions had to cut programs or reduce staff. Beyond finances, the drop in enrollment also affected research capacity. Fewer graduate students meant fewer hands in the laboratories. This potentially slowed down the pace of innovation and discovery. The long-term effects on America's research enterprise became a subject of serious discussion among academic leaders. The interconnectedness of enrollment, funding, and research output was starkly revealed by these policy shifts.
Universities that had relied heavily on Chinese student enrollment felt the impact acutely. This was not just a statistical blip, it represented a significant shift in international student mobility patterns towards the United States.
The policy changes led to a noticeable decline in Chinese student enrollment. Data from various sources showed a significant drop. Fewer new students from China were applying to U.S. universities. Many who were accepted faced visa delays or denials. This trend was particularly pronounced in graduate programs in STEM fields. The numbers told a clear story. The pipeline of talent from China was constricting,